Well, if there's one thing that I love more than gardening, it's cooking. And I think the only thing better than one or the other is doing both together. And I've got my Big Green Egg set up in my garden for a number of wonderful reasons. Of course, the scenery couldn't be better, but then also there's huge advantages, especially in the Southeast, of moving that heat out of the kitchen. And I think it also is just, it just enhances the whole experience being out in open air cooking.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love sitting outside on a Sunday night roasting a chicken. Me and my cat hanging on the back porch, enjoying the backyard, my tomato garden, all that. So it's great to take the kitchen outdoors.
Right, right. And there are a lot of odors, you know, especially if we're cooking something, you know, like fish, whatever, that we want to keep the smells out of the house. Putting our cooking right in the garden, great way to go.
Yep.
Well, let's talk through just the way that this apparatus works. I know a lot of people may have a little bit of fear going into it. You know, a lot of professional chefs cook on these, and they may be thinking like, oh, that must be a really, really complicated piece of equipment. But with a few simple tips, actually anyone can succeed.
Absolutely. So first of all, this is a ceramic Kamado style cooker. It's an ancient technology. Our founder, a guy named Ed Fisher, who started the company 50 years ago, he imported these things from Japan or Taiwan. They were clay cookers, but they've been using these for millennia. He realized that he wanted a greater temperature range in it, so he found a manufacturer that we could make it out of high-grade ceramics rather than a big clay pot, basically.
Right, right.
So it's got a range of temperatures that you can cook from 70 and cold smoke up to 1,000 degrees, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but you could if you wanted
maybe pizza.
But it's great. But it allows you to cold smoke, go low and slow. You can sear steaks at a high temp. I bake on mine. I make pizzas. We talked about baking bread on it. I was at an event last week and we made brownies on this thing.
Wonderful.
Pizza, roast big prime ribs, you know, anything on it. It's fueled by charcoal that we basically get as salvage out of the Ozarks. South Missouri, northern Arkansas, it's known for its wonderful oak and hickory down there. And every little town has a mill. We collect all the scrap and then put it in our kilns and make natural, pure lump charcoal out of it.
Wonderful.
No additives, no nothing on that. So it imparts a great flavor.
Well, and the quality of the fuel matters a lot.
You never ever need to use lighter fluid with this.
Right.
The airflow through this allows you to light it without the use of any kind of petrochemicals or anything. So it's just beautiful pure lump charcoal and an easy to control device that you can, based on the airflow, you can cook at any temperature you want.
Well, let's take a look inside, and why don't you break down the different parts?
This is the cooking grid. You can use it like a grill and cook direct on it, but if you want to bake or go low and slow, you insert this deflector plate. And this is, we call it a convector, but it's really a deflector plate, and it keeps the direct flames off your food and also helps to create even more of a convection effect inside the cooking dome.
Wonderful.
So there's that. So again, it's easy to use, easy to light. So this is our pure lump charcoal.
So you're bringing the charcoal right up to the edge of the firebox there.
That's right.
To the top of that.
And that'll be a full load, and with that much charcoal, especially cooking at low temperatures, you could cook on that for 10, 15 hours and not use a whole load.
Wow.
The ceramics keeps the heat in, and so unlike, you know, like a metal cooker, a lot of people use kettles, all the heat radiates out the top of it. If it's 500 degrees on the inside, it's 500 degrees on the outside. The temperature differential on an egg is about 175 degree difference between the inside and the outside.
Wow.
And why that makes sense and why it's important is that if you're losing all the heat, you have to keep pumping hot, dry air into your cooker, and that dries your food out.
Right.
With this, once we get this thing up to temp, we can dial it back and barely have it open just enough to keep the fire going. So all that nice, hot, moist air stays in there so your food doesn't dry out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, easy to light. One of these, we'll put this right in the middle of the charcoal. We'll close the top once it's lit. We'll open the top vent, open the bottom vent all the way, and in about 15 minutes, we'll be up to 375 degrees, ready to put our chicken on.
Wonderful. Well, let's get to work on our chicken.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna do one of my favorite Sunday night feasts, which is a spatchcock chicken. I love summer in the South because I've got fresh tomatoes coming out of my garden and sweet corn.
Oh, yeah.
And what goes better with a roast chicken than some corn on the
Oh,
cob.
it's perfect.
So my technique that I do to get the full flavor out of it is I like to steam it in the husk and then finish it over a screaming hot grill at the end to really get the caramelization on those kernels on it. So simply all I do is I just snip it off, clip the top, bam, just like that, and we'll soak it while our chicken's on, and then about 45 minutes into the 1 hour cook, we'll put it on and get it nice and steamed up.
Excellent.
Just that simple. So we're gonna be eating well, my friend.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Bob, I love cooking chicken on the grill, and you're going to show us a technique which is spatchcocking, which is a wonderful way to get really, really even heat. And also, it's a quicker way of cooking a chicken too, but it's mostly a technique that's used to get really, really even uniform cooking.
The right chicken makes a difference. I've cooked chicken from every store on the planet, pretty much. And this is going to be a organic, field-raised chicken, and the quality of the meat really does make a difference.
Sure
but
does.
if you cook it on the egg, it's going to taste great.
Yeah.
So spatchcocking is really easy. All you do is just flip it over, and what we're going to do to spatchcock it, we're going to go for the tail right here. We're going to cut the backbone out of it, and that's going to allow us to open this bird up and get the seasoning on the inside. Not only will you get nice even cook on it, you'll also be able to get the seasoning on both sides of it as well. And with it laid open like that, we'll get a lot of nice smoke on it as well.
Excellent.
So that's all there is to it. Cut that backbone out, and then what I do is I come right in here in the breast and I give it a little snip, just like that, and then it just lays right open like that. I like to start with a little bit of olive oil first. So the olive oil, I've heard it helps it brown, but most of all, it gives you a little something for your seasoning to bind to.
Great, great.
So we'll start on the back, and I'll just put a little olive oil on it. We'll spread it around there. This is salt, pepper, garlic that we have. The salt in here will also help tighten the skin up because you want that nice crispy skin on it when you're done. We also have a chicken rub. It's got a little paprika and some other things in it. I like it because it adds a little other layer of flavor, and it adds a little bit of color to it too.
And part of the design of this tiny house was that the front porch would roll right into the garden, and so it's a space designed for entertaining, and having the cooking apparatus, having the grill right off the patio is great for entertaining. And here we are right in the middle of the garden, just enjoying wonderful weather and the smoke from the grill.
So I cook indirect at 375. And this is about a 4.5 pound bird, and at 375 indirect, we can have this thing from the time we put it on to pull it off in an hour or less.
Wow.
Yeah. So how cool is that?
That's great.
What we'll do is we'll cook this, for the better part of an hour. We'll get it up to 165 internal temp in the breast. That'll be food safe for that. And when we pull it off and rest it, that's when we'll put our corn on. That's all there is to it.
All right.
Shall we get cooking?
Let's get cooking.
All right.
Let's do it. But I think many people think that cooking on an egg it's got to be a Saturday endeavor. It takes all this time to get it to temp and all this time to cook. Not true. In the time that we prep this chicken, the egg is already to temperature, and it's only going to take us about an hour to cook this, so it actually is a perfectly practical Tuesday evening event. It does not have to be reserved for just the weekends, and I think that that's what makes this a wonderful everyday piece of cooking equipment.
Absolutely. Think what we did. We came in here, we lit it, we went in the kitchen, we prepped our chicken, and the time we come back out, we're right at 400 degrees, 375, 400 is about where we want to cook this. And so this beautifully seasoned bird, we're going to put it on 375, and we'll be pulling it off in the next 55 minutes to an hour on that.
Wow.
So here we go.
All right.
So if you'll do that, here we go.
Well,
See you in an hour, birdie.
That sounds like magic.
All right. What, 1 hour on the nose?
1 hour.
375, let's see what we have. Oh, that looks good enough to eat.
Yeah, we can eat that.
There you go, let you do the honor.
Boy, that's so tender.
Now, we'll let this rest, and we'll finish the corn off, and we'll be ready to go.